HTTPS is one of those topics surrounded by strong opinions, controversy, and misconceptions. Remember, SSL and TLS stem from a different time. Back then, active network attacks were a theoretical problem. So it should not come as a surprise that this 20-year-old technology is surrounded by old convictions, particularly in the fast-paced context of the web. A common misconception is that HTTPS is only relevant for sensitive content, such as login forms or online payments. This is no longer true. The moment your application sends an HTTP request, your users become vulnerable to a variety of attacks. We will cover some of these attacks later in this module. That is why today, all traffic must be sent over an HTTPS channel, no excuses. That conclusion leads us to the second common misconception. HTTPS has a significant performance impact, and your servers will not be able to handle it. From an historical point of view, there is some merit to that argument. But we're long past that. Modern CPUs come with support for AES, the encryption algorithm used in almost all HTTPS deployments. On top of that, the TLS protocol has undergone significant performance tuning. Maybe you're frowning right now, and that's okay. The performance aspect of HTTPS has long been the primary argument to weasel out of security obligations. Let me show you a few numbers. Google is using TLS for all their services. On production front-end machines, TLS accounts for less than 1% of the CPU load. Memory consumption is less than 10 kilobytes of memory per connection, and network overhead is limited to 2%. The volume of data doesn't matter much either. Netflix has been running all their streaming services over HTTPS for quite some time. And to be clear, Netflix accounts for more than 1/3 of traffic during peak hours in the US. These numbers illustrate that the performance impact of TLS is minimal, so this popular belief holds no merit. Another misconception states that certificates are expensive and a nightmare to configure. Again, this may have been true in a long lost past, but not anymore. Today, services like Let's Encrypt offer free certificates for everyone. Let's Encrypt even provides you with the tool support to automate the whole process. One command takes care of requesting, installing, and renewing certificates. This makes setting up HTTPS a 5-minute job, as we will see later in this module. And even if Let's Encrypt is not the right choice for you, plenty of CAs offer affordable certificates nowadays. The configuration is not all that complex once you understand what's going on. It also used to be true that you could only run one HTTPS application per IP address. Today, almost every client supports a TLS extension called Server Name Indication, or SNI in short. SNI addresses this restriction, as we will see in more detail towards the end of this module. There are a lot more misconceptions, but you get the idea by now. There is almost no valid excuse to hold off on deploying HTTPS. Granted, it may demand some effort, depending on the size of your existing application and the type of content. But you better start with the transition to HTTPS sooner rather than later.